What's up YouTube? Scott, Skyny Tradition, back with another video. It is Wednesday, December 18th, and we are churning closer and closer to Christmas and New Year's and being done with 2024. So I hope you guys are all doing well. Thought I would hop on here to make a video about the recent REA auction that ended about 10 days ago on December 8th. Sometimes there's auctions that end that give you a lot more insight of your pricing and stuff that you monitor throughout the year. I just did my top 100 cards video and a lot of the prices on there. Some of those you have to guesstimate a little bit because, there's just not a lot of sales data on some of the cards that I have. So, cool part about this REA auction is that it had a lot of vintage football in it and a lot of high grade vintage football, especially high-grade Packers rookie cards. So I thought this might be kind of a fun video to do, to just kind of talk about, what some of these cards go for. This community has a lot of baseball card collectors in it, and that's great. It's hard to know everything, so I thought this would be a fun video just to kind of give everyone a little more insight, especially on like those key Packer vintage rookie cards in high grade and kind of what they go for, and kind of where I had my price guesstimates when I did my countdown. Because it's a kind of a good check on myself, too. It's a way to make sure that I'm getting the prices right, basically, on what I'm looking at. So I have 10 cards pulled up here. We're going to kind of go through each of those 10 cards. And these are all cards that I have already in the collection. So it's kind of cool just to go through them and see kind of where things are at right now. So the first one I have up here, as you can see, it's the beautiful example. It's a 8.5. REA Nitki rookie card from 63 Tops. These don't sell a whole lot. I haven't seen a PSA 9 sell in many, many years. It's been at least a couple years, and there are no 10s. So, and I want to say I forget what the pop is, but it's probably less than 10 9s in existence. And there's probably about 8 or 9 8.5s as well. So not a lot once you get to that 8.5 grade. So this one you can see sold for $2,760, and here's the example I have in my collection. This is actually one of my favorite cards. I love this image of Nitki, and I'd say that the card that I have is actually better centered than the one that sold, so you do need to figure that a little bit into account as well. Centering especially does fetch a much higher premium than you would even think. So, but I think I forget what I had this one estimated on my pricing. Let me see if I can pull that up here. You can kind of get a quick, this is the Excel spreadsheet that I use that kind of tracks all values of things in my collection. So I'm just going to scroll down here, see if I can find Nitki. Go back up a little bit. Go down. All right, now I'm into my Packer stuff here. The 63 Nitki I had at about 3,000 for a guesstimate. So if I go back to here, this sold for 2,760. So a little less than what I had it estimated at, but again, the one that I have is a little more centered, so it could certainly be in the ballpark to fetch that. So that was the first one. Pretty nice, decent price for Nitki. I'm kind of right in the ballpark of where I had it. The second one is the 63 Tops Willie Wood rookie card. And you can see this one fetched $1,920. Pretty nice example. I want to say there is 2 10s for the Willie Wood rookie card, but there's probably like, a handful of 9s. There's not a lot, though. It's been a little while since one of these sold. One of mine have sold last year. So I might have this one estimated a little bit high, because I think the one that sold last year was a little high. Let me just take a peek here. I had the wood estimated at 2,500. So a little high again. Again, this is the one that sold here. And this is the one that I have in my collection right here. And the one that I have is that purple sky variation. You can tell the difference in these two. You can see the blue sky back here and the purple sky in front. These are a little more scarce. So, You know, this one sold for about 2K. I had this one estimated about 2,500K. Still certainly within the realm of possibility of what it could sell for. But might have to adjust this one down slightly a little bit. But again, in the neighborhood. But awesome card nonetheless. All right, next on the list here. This one was the most surprising sale of the auction that I was following. So I mentioned during my top 100 video that I haven't seen one of these sell in like 7 years. I think I purchased the last one, and that was back in 2017. And now we're at the end of 2024, so it's been around 7 years since one is sold. And this would be an example of not having a ton of supply. I think the pop on this is only 8, and there are none higher, so it's a real tough card to get. This is a real nice example right here, and you can see the sell price of $6,900. And there's my example there. Also a really nice example, like not really any fish eyes or snow or anything like that. The centering is really nice. Just a beautiful card. So this one was definitely the most surprising, and I know I had this one underestimated. If I go check my Excel spreadsheet, I have Henry Jordan at 2,000 of a price estimate, so and that one just sold for almost 7,000, so probably going to have to move that one up in the estimate. Beautiful card, though. It was great to see one of those sell finally, so I can stop guessing at prices at least. That would definitely be higher on my top 100 list. Next on the list is the 60 Topps Forrest Gregg rookie card. This one sold for about $1,980. And here is an example that I have from my collection. Both are pretty nice examples, I would say. So again, sell price was about 2,000. If I went back and see where I had mine estimated. Again, a lot of these are tough to estimate because they just don't sell a whole lot. But I had my Forrest Gregg estimated at $1,850. And $1,980 is what it sold for. So I was about $100 off there, but pretty darn close. A beautiful card. And then here's the 59 Topps Jim Taylor rookie in a 9. Again, there are none graded higher. There's also none graded higher for the Forrest Gregg. And this one sold for $1,860. Here is the one that I have in my collection. And this one, let's take a peek and see what I had a guesstimate on. I had the 59 Topps Taylor at about 2,000 for a guess, and this one sold for $1,860. So I was about $100 over on this one, about $100 under on the Forrest Gregg. So pretty close. Great card, even though it's not the right guy on the front. It's still a key Packer card. And now we got the Paul Hornung rookie card. This one sold for $3,480. This one's graded in an 8. There are a few 9s out there. I want to say maybe like 10 to 15, 10 to 12, something like that. But there are no 10s. Here is the example that I have. Just a beautiful card. You can tell there's different variations sometimes in the orange in the background. Like this is definitely a darker, more robust orange. And then you can see the one back here is a little bit lighter orange. Kind of hard to tell, but you can definitely tell the one in the picture is a little bit lighter. This is a little bit darker. $3,480. Let's check and see where I had the Hornung price guesstimate. I had this at $3,800, so a couple $100 high on that one, but not too bad considering. Most of these always sell in that 3,000 to 4,000 range generally, depending on centering and that deepness of the orange. Here's another Hornung that sold. This one sold for $3,000, also in a PSA 8. Centering was a little better on that first one that I showed right there. So centering definitely can get you a premium, but sold for about $500 more. And it also has a little bit more robust dark orange than this one here. So both of those may have played a role in the sales price. Moving forward, here is the Bart Starr rookie card. awesome, great card. This is a PSA 8. This one sold for $10,200. And this one here, though, is, I mean, this one's really nice. The centering is just beautiful on this card all the way around. Colors are nice. There's also another Star to Sell right there. That one sold for $8,700. So I guess if you split the difference, kind of in that $9,500 range, something like that. And then here's the one that I have in the collection. Just a real nice example. I think this one that I have here is probably like in between this one and the first one that I showed you. So that kind of might give a good idea as to what I would price this one at now. This card's actually come down quite a bit. Got as high as like $15,000 back around, you know, the peak of the hobby, 2021, early 2022. So this one's come down to earth a little bit. Might be a good time to get a Star rookie card if you've been looking for one in an 8. All right, moving forward, here's the Don Hudson rookie card in an 8. Beautiful card right there. This one is pretty nice centering all around. A little bit off right to left, but it does not have that notorious line you get right on this left side of the card. So that's key for this card. Sales price of $1,980, so almost $2,000. Here's the example that I have. This is a little bit older label, but you can see it looks really nice. It also does not have that key streak you see on this line, on that orange part of the card right there. So it's an old label, but don't let that fool you. It's still a really nice card. And this one, I'm just going to see where I had this one estimated at. About $1,700 was my estimate. This sold for $1,980. So I was about $200 or $300 low on this estimate. But again, you got a newer label here and an older label that I'm holding, but I think the cards are actually pretty comparable. Pretty nice example there. I have not seen a PSA 9 Don Hudson sell in a long time. It's been at least a handful of years since one has sold. I would love to be able to add one of those someday. Huge fan of Hudson. Here's another one that doesn't sell a ton. It's the 52 Bowman Large Bobby Dillon rookie. This is the Bowman Large PSA 8, which is a little more sought after than the small. This one ended up selling for $2,400. Let's see where I had the estimate. $2,900 was my estimate. So, and here's my example here. This one on the right is a little bit off-centered left to right. You can see the thinner margin on the right-hand side of the card on the one at REA. The one that I have, I think has a little bit better centering. So, real happy with the one that I have, and certainly in the ballpark of estimate. I mean, I might move this down to like $2,750 for a price guesstimate, but that was pretty close, I think, based on the quality of the card. So nice example there of the Hawk Bobby Dillon. And then getting down to the end here. Yep. So this is the 35 Chico Clark Hinkle. Always a tough card to guess the price on. This is in a PSA 8, and $7,500 was the sale price. I thought this was a pretty good sale price. Like, this I feel like was a decent deal. You can tell it's got the 0 in the front, so it's an older label, but very nicely centered on this card. Like, it doesn't get much better than that. If I didn't already have 2 of these, I would have been all over this card. I think it looks really nice. And then here's one that I have. You can see this is an older label, Hinkle. There we go. So I had that one. I think I had this one estimated right around $7,000. So this one went for $7,500. So that makes sense. And then here's the other one that I have. This one I picked up earlier last year. This one I had estimated a little higher because I think the last sale of a Hinkle PSA 8 was about 10,000 plus. So I might have to adjust this one down a little bit to get kind of more in line with what this one sold for, because this is a really nice 8, I think, and it sold for $7,500. So I was a little high on that second Hinkle on the guess. So fortunately, I was able to get mine for quite a bit less than that. So either way, I'm pretty happy with the Hinkle. And then the last thing that's sold here, something you really don't see very much, it's this 1932 Walker's Cleaners Packers Premium Photographs. There's not a lot of old stuff of those like 20s championship Packers. So like this book has 27 these premiums in there, and you can see Curly Lambeau right on the front here, and there's some other great ones in there like I believe Arnie Herber's in there, Johnny Blood McNally I want to say is in there. There's some great players in there. So this was a complete set. The book was in pretty rough shape. You can see that it's missing the front cover, but it is still bound in the book with the photographs, which is kind of neat. Sales price for this was $7,200. I think that's about right. If they were in nicer shape, I think it could have gone for $10,000 to $15,000. But to get a full set of these in any kind of still bound in the book is pretty damn rare. And if I had an extra money laying around, this would have been something I would have probably gone after. But I thought it was great to see one of these come up for auction. Other than that, man, hope you guys are having a great end of the year. I will do a year in review video coming up probably in the next couple weeks. It's going to be a hectic next couple weeks with Christmas, holidays, and visiting family and everything. But I will definitely be excited to make that video. One of my favorite videos to make every year. I hope that this gives everybody just a little insight on pricing, and especially if you're a Packers collector or vintage Hall of Fame football collector in high grade, just get a grasp of an idea of what some of this stuff goes for. This is some of my favorite stuff I collect. As I mentioned earlier, it's hard to know everything, and I'm certainly the same. I do not know everything, but I do know this little niche pretty well. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching.